All right, everybody, welcome back. Good afternoon. And now we're going to set our sights just a little bit lower here, right? Because that's how it goes, right? You start at the top, you look at the best possible things, you ultimately probably come to a conclusion that the best is not possible. It just can't happen right now. And then you work your way down. You look for the good, you look for the decent, you look for the average. You keep on going until you find something that actually works for you. And now we're going to take a look at some things that are, I think, pretty decent, pretty good, but you're definitely crossing your fingers just a little bit here, and you're wishing upon a little bit of a lucky star. These are guys who are quality starters. These are capable starters, but for one reason or another, either they're not that great, or they're at the age where you know the end is right around the corner. You just hope it isn't this year. So, in some cases, you might be saying, okay, let's try to get one more good year out of this guy. Or let's hope last year was a fluke. Or let's hope he plays his best football here. Let's hope he can take it up a notch for one reason or another. I got three guys in this video. We're going to do another video later today with three more guys kind of in this tier as well, moving towards the end of the strong safety conversation. So the first guy I want to talk about would be recently released by the Philadelphia Eagles, Kevin Byard, most notably of the Tennessee Titans, but recently a Philadelphia Eagle. Two-time All-Pro, so this guy has had a good career. This guy did some great stuff in Tennessee, played some free safety, played some strong safety, had some years where he took the ball away like crazy. The 2017 8-interception season is, I mean, it's hard to get 8 interceptions in one season these days. That doesn't happen every day. So I mean, hey, he's a really good player. He's had a really nice career, but he was 30 last year. He is going to turn 31 before the season starts, it looks like. So you have to be wondering, where's the cliff? Where does it end? If you bring him in, you're probably going to have to give him a pretty decent amount of money. I don't think you're going to get away with a 1 year deal. I think it'll probably be like 2 years. I would say 2 years, at least 12 million. Maybe it pushes up a little bit more. It's not like he played poorly last year. PFF still thought he played pretty good overall in 2023. 2022, they thought he played great. 2021, they thought he was fantastic, a phenomenal safety. I think age will probably take away some of his potential earnings. The fact that he's already made a lot of money will probably reduce his edge to negotiate for every dollar possible, but I still think you're looking at a multi-year deal worth a decent amount of money. I haven't found any contract projections for him yet, but I do suspect it's going to be somewhere around 2 years, 12 million. It could be. It could honestly be more because he's got such a positive reputation. This is a name player. This is a guy that everybody in the world who follows football beyond just the first layer has probably heard about because he had such a prolific career in Tennessee. So Kevin Byard might get overpaid by name reputation, but of the players we're going to look at in this video, he is still clearly the best possible guy. He's got the versatility to play in a Mike Macdonald defense, I think, although the age is going to make you a little bit concerned because he loses a little bit of speed, a little bit of physical ability. You don't know. But Kevin Byard would be one of the best guys you could get at this level. I think he would be cheaper than the guys we were talking about before because of age. And if he has one more good year left in him, that should be enough. One more good year on a 2 year deal, you move on after 1 year, or you just take it on the chin for 1 year. Either way, he provides a pretty decent stopgap option. This next guy, Jaron Curse, interesting player, been a part of the Cowboys for a couple years here. Originally started out in Minnesota. They use him kind of interestingly. My concern with Jaron Curse would be that I think he's more of a box safety. I don't know how good he is at doing the free safety stuff. So it may not be a great fit. He's had some minor injury issues over the last few years as well. Good player, though. Good player. They use him really interestingly in that Dan Quinn defense in Dallas over these last few years. He was somebody that Dan Quinn brought in with him and has been a relatively important part of what they're doing. Fairly effective on the blitz. A lot of plays made against the run. For whatever it's worth, though, PFF had an axe to grind against him last year. They gave him pretty awful grades all around. They thought he was struggling in coverage. 2022. They were much more complimentary of him. So obviously, bad seasons happen. You're talking about a season where he didn't get to play with Trayvon Diggs very much. Or did he get hurt before the season started? Maybe he got hurt before the season started. Either way, didn't get to play with his best cornerback. That obviously has an effect. You can see how good the results were in the previous 2 years with Dan Quinn in that really good Dallas defense. There's been some inconsistency, but there's some really good stuff here. Now, the concern with Jaron Kearse has to be age-related. He's just turned 30. He's on the wrong side of that milestone. So, Jaron Kearse, to me, is just not quite what we're looking for. I'd like to see a little more free safety versatility from a guy that we bring in. To me, he's kind of a pure box safety, ideally. I think last year the Cowboys actually used him as the free safety more than usual, and that's part of the reason why he struggled. So I like the player, but I don't think it makes a lot of sense here, and I think we can do better with a different kind of fit. So Jaron Kearse, I don't know what the money would be. He didn't make that much money in Dallas. I don't know why that would change. Maybe you could get him sort of like 1 year 5 or 2 years 10. But again, we're just looking for good fits right now. Final guy in this video would be a bring him home candidate for Taylor Rapp. Grew up in Bellingham, played college football with the Huskies, won a Super Bowl with the Rams, and then went to the Bills last year. So Taylor Rapp, been pretty good player in his career overall, versatile, does some box safety stuff, does some free safety stuff, had 4 interceptions for that Rams team that went on that Super Bowl run. It was a good career. It was a good career that he had with that Rams team overall. They just weren't able to pay him because they couldn't pay anybody last offseason. They were trying to clear the deck. And he went to the Bills last year and honestly kind of disappointed, I would say. Played almost every game, but he only started 4 of them. And this was on a Bills defense that lost a lot to injury. Like Von Miller was a ghost out there when he did play. And they lost Milano. They lost Tre'Davious White. I think they lost Daquan Jones. And he still didn't play as much as you would have expected when they signed him last offseason. Like, he got, 421 snaps. That's really not that impressive. They saw something they didn't really like with him. It's not like they paid him nothing either. Let me see if I can... Yeah, well, they didn't pay him that much, but they still brought him in expecting him to do something. They paid him something thinking that he could be the player he was for the Rams the previous year when he started almost every game. So, yeah, it just seems like he kind of fell short of expectations in Buffalo. You take a look at what he was doing with the Rams. PFF, at the very least, mostly thinks it's pretty good. Now, I don't totally trust PFF when it comes to safeties because they've admitted, I think, that they don't really understand zone defense. But last year was not so good. But I don't hate the fit. I don't hate the fact that I think he would be very cheap because he didn't play very well last year. I think you'd be getting a $5 million a year caliber player for maybe like $2 million. And what's wrong with that? You're bringing a guy home. Maybe he'll do better in Washington. And you're going to try to see if he can set his career back on the right path. For whatever it's worth, Spotrac does think he'll get paid a decent amount. I don't know why. I don't know if I see this. He didn't do that well last year. And he only got paid a little bit by Buffalo last year. What's changed? But 2 years, $11 million, I do think he might be able to get his career back to where he would be worth that. I just kind of expect him to have to take a 1 year super cheap prove-it deal to prove that he can actually get back to where he was. But 2 years, $5.5 million per year, I mean, I'm not saying he's earned it based on the play last year, but I do think he would probably be worth about that much. Remember, he's 26. Going to turn 27, I think, right before the season, or actually, deep into the season, excuse me. So we're talking about a guy here who is coming into his physical prime and should offer up some of his best football coming up here. So you bring him in, even on a deal like this, I'm going to understand. I'm going to get it. So Taylor Rapp makes a pretty decent amount of sense to me, honestly. Especially if you can get him for as cheap as I suspect he will be. All right, so that's it for this tier of safety for me. We're going to do another video later with some more guys who I think would be okay starters. But that is what I think of those 3. So let me know what you think down below. Let me know who you like. Let me know who maybe you don't like. And I'll see you guys in a couple hours with some more strong safeties.